You are what you eat. This phrase is thought to have originated all the way back in 1826. Modern-day determinations mean that, while not literal, the food we consume does have an effect on our physical and mental health. So what if the processed foods we are consuming contained things that were bad for our health? What if what we are consuming is literally killing us? What if, through relaxed or even purposeful regulation, or lack thereof, the government was allowing consumers to be exposed to these toxins?
There have been reports of strange creatures in the area.
Witnesses say they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
What is that? Welcome, beloved fofers, doubters, naysayers, non-believers, and skeptics. Welcome to Paranormal Fable or Fact. I am Victor Trevino, joined by my co-host and beautiful wife, Tammy.
We are your humble guides to tales of alleged hoaxes, unbelievable stories, and the overall strange.
Hoaxes?
Hoaxes.
If you want to be on the show, send us an email at pfableorfact@proton.me. Our Facebook, YouTube links will be in the show notes, as well as the rules and the rules for debunkers. Don't forget to leave a good review if you like our show, you like our podcast, and subscribe if you like our YouTube channel. So let's get right into it, baby. Let's go right into the gist.
Okay.
There was a short video back in 2023 that went viral. I just happened to catch it because I was watching this show that was talking about the differences between processed foods outside of the U.S. being healthier, and the U.S. is being just absolutely weighed down by all these additives and ingredients and preservatives. Now, that was the argument that was being made in the comments. Well, the U.S. just has higher standards of how long food is preserved and, safety standards. But that's not entirely true, because what we're talking about is ketchup, a processed food. People don't realize how much processed foods they eat on a daily basis, baby.
Right.
I mean, even people that think they're being healthy, when you really think about it, well, I don't drink milk, I drink almond milk. Well, almond milk's processed.
Right.
Almonds, you don't crush almonds and make milk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Soy milk, same thing. It's not a natural food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I use, olive oil. Virgin olive oil. Well, virgin olive oil is processed.
Yes.
That's how they get it virgin. Whether you're eating bologna, ham, those healthy breakfast bars, whatever. Lots of processed foods. Crackers, bread.
Yeah.
You're married to a Mexican guy. We eat tortillas. Those are all processed foods, baby.
Correct.
So, basically what had happened, just continue with the gist, is this woman, she was visiting family, I believe, in Canada, or visiting her in-laws or something. I don't remember. And they were going to go on a picnic because Canada's gorgeous, you know. So, she's packing up all the stuff for the picnic, condiments, like her ketchup. She realized when she got up there in Canada, oh crap, we don't have enough ketchup, I'm almost out. So she goes to the store, buys the exact same size container, exact same manufacturer, Heinz 57, and right on the front of the Canadian version, I think it says, as a matter of fact, we have the video. Let's watch it.
Okay.
So as you can see, Heinz tomato ketchup.
Yep.
On the back of the American version, it's got like 8 or 9 ingredients. On the front of the Canadian one with a little maple leaf on it, it says right on the front, only 5 ingredients.
Wow.
And those are tomato paste from fresh ripe tomatoes, sugar, vinegar, salt, and spices. That's it.
That's what ketchup's made out of.
Yeah, that's basically what ketchup is made out of. But the American version, that's not what the ingredients say. So she posted this and said, hey, what are they doing? Why are they adding all? And one of the main additives to the ketchup, the American version, was high fructose corn syrup, which has been in controversial for how long of being really bad for us,
Right.
especially when the government is sitting there talking about how, obesity is a problem, but then you're allowing food companies to put this fattening, horrible, just saturated with heavy, heavy calories and stuff into food.
Right.
Like ketchup.
Yep.
You know? You squirt a little ketchup on your hamburger and you're eating all the sugar.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
And if you're a diabetic or something, sometimes that's why they have so many problems, because they don't know that the food they're eating has this added sugar to it. So it's a concern, baby. It basically what it boils down to. So this gave me the idea that perhaps the U.S. FDA, the Food and Drug Administration,
Right.
was not doing as thorough of a job as it should be. Or they were purposefully ignoring things for whatever reason. Money, you got those lobbyists and stuff, maybe they're being, taking a little something under the table. Something's going on, because why would you add something that's bad for the American public
Right.
to ketchup when obviously Canada has the same product and they don't have any sugar in it? Tomatoes, water, salt, sugar, and spices. That's it.
Real sugar.
Real sugar. Mm-hmm. None of this high fructose processed crap. Mm-hmm. So we have a disclaimer in this show because it could get political. We're going to do everything in our power to not be political, baby, because we're not a political show. Unfortunately, we're going to have to get political every now and again because everything has been politicized. For example, if you and I were just talking about having a burger, right?
Right.
Well, there's people that might get offended by that.
Right.
Because there's people some people believe, number one, we shouldn't be eating red meat. Number two, we shouldn't be killing cows. It's cruel to the animals. And some people could get offended just because we're talking about a hamburger.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying virtually everything can be political. So we're going to try to steer away from that as much as possible. But we're going to have to jump with both feet in it right off the bat, baby, because the reason I wanted to do this show, we're not accusing anybody of anything. I don't care what side of the aisle you lean on. I don't care if you vote Democrat, Republican, Independent, Swahili, whatever. I don't care. We are embracing this possibility because I was confused myself personally why RFK, who was a presidential candidate that ran against Biden, was appointed to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. I was like, what? Why would they he doesn't know anything about that. Well, apparently they don't want someone who knows about health. They want someone who's going to get stuff done.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, we just saw that thing that came out with the story that came out in the news where they banned all those red dyes.
Correct.
That have been found to be toxic and carcinogenic to the American public. So apparently someone is saying enough's enough. We need to start doing something about this.
Yeah, we're going to correct this.
Right. We're going to do something about it. Whether you agree with them or not, hate them, love them, I don't care. At least someone's doing something about it. Period. Right? So let's move on to the red flags.
Okay.
For our listeners that are just listening to the podcast and don't have YouTube, I'm going to narrate. It's a guy, he's got a bunch of frozen waters in his freezer. According to him, he's had them in there for 5 days. He taps one on the tile. It's like a rock. I mean, it's just like tunk, 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 solid. But he notices some of the bottles haven't frozen. So he pulls one of them out. It's squishy in his hand, even though it's been in the freezer for 5 days. He decides to take a pair of scissors to it to cut it open to see what's going on with this water because he can't pour it out. And it looks like a clear, almost like sponge.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
It's the weirdest stuff, but it looks plastic. And this is what we're talking about, nanoplastic. There he pours out the other half of it on that bottom part, and he's squeezing them both together. Now we move on to the next part. This guy's distilling his water. It's brand name water, Evian. He's distilling it to remove even more minerals for his own benefit or whatever. According to him, he did it with 2 liters, and he's got this slime that he poured out of the pan that he collected in a glass, and he's looking at it. And in the pan where he was boiling the water, there's a film on the bottom. It looks like snot, basically, but it's like a melted plastic, like a liquid plastic. And this is what we're talking about, nanoplastics and microplastics. And then he talks about fluoride. We're going to talk about fluoride later, because fluoride and chlorine are in our drinking water.
Yeah.
And, they're saying, well, it helps with cavities, and chlorine keeps microorganisms and makes sure that the water, both of those are toxic to humans. The argument is, well, we don't put a lot in there, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, I don't know how tightly regulated it is, but they're adding toxins to our drinking water, to our tap water. Now, according to the FDA, they say the contamination of these microplastics and nanoplastics come from the environment, the plastic bottles, because it's mostly found in bottled water, and the bottling process, because there's a video of people taking bottled water right out of the pack, those big plastic packages?
Yeah.
Those big,
Yeah, cases.
Cases that you buy. They'll pull them out of there, and they'll shake them, and there's like little white flecks floating around in the water that you can actually see with the naked eye.
Huh.
So we have what's called PET plastic, or polyethylene terephthalate. Supposedly this plastic was created because it's the easiest to recycle. I didn't look into the process of it, but apparently it's easy. It's the easiest plastic to recycle because it's created to be recycled.
Oh, okay.
Nearly every bottle of water is made from it. I don't know if that's true out of the country, but here in America, a very high percentage of bottled water is used with this PET plastic. However, play dramatic music. According to the United States EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, less than 30% of PET plastics get recycled. Other plastics, in other words, not PET plastics in America, is even lower than that at around 8%, 8.7%. So you have over 70% of PET plastics not being recycled and over 92% of non-PET plastics not being recycled. Why do we even have a recycling program?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, if they're not recycling it.
So if you're wondering how plastics are coming from the environment, we're filling our landfills full of a bunch of plastic that supposedly we're supposed to be recycling.
Yeah.
I mean, they created this plastic to recycle, and they're only doing less than 30% of it.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Heads need to roll.
Yeah.
We need answers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, here's the big slap in the face, baby. I got this directly from the FDA website, the Food and Drug Administration's website. This is their answer to the nanoplastics and to the microplastics. Quote, the presence of derived microplastics and nanoplastics in food alone does not indicate a risk and does not violate FDA regulations unless it becomes a health concern. Now that threw up a red flag right there, because basically what that sentence says is we don't care about it until someone dies.
Yeah.
We know there's plastics in our food. We know there's plastics in our water. We don't care because nobody's died yet, is basically what that...
And we're not going to fix it until somebody dies.
Until somebody dies, right. That's basically what they're saying, unless it creates a health concern, which means somebody's sick or somebody's dying. Moving on. While many studies have reported the presence of microplastics in several foods, including salt, seafood, sugar, beer, bottled water, honey, milk, and tea, current scientific evidence does not demonstrate that the levels of microplastics or nanoplastics detected in foods pose a risk to human health. Additionally, this is, again, just a slap in the face at the sheer stupidity, baby. Additionally, because there's no standardized methods of how to detect, quantify, or characterize microplastics or nanoplastics, many of the scientific studies have used methods that are variable, questionable, and or with limited accuracy or specificity. So if there's no standardized method on how to detect micro and nanoplastics, how does the FDA have regulations on it?
Yeah,
I mean, they just contradicted themselves.
they did.
This is right off of their website.
Huh, interesting.
Whatever buffoon was at the head of the FDA needs to be drummed out of office.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that's getting political. I don't care what side of the aisle he leans on. I don't care if he's liberal or conservative. If they are, and I don't care if it's a man or a woman, if they are a buffoon and stupid enough to allow that statement to be posted on their website, contradicting themselves. So basically what they're saying is, hey, the levels so far that we found in food does not pose the health risk. But because there's no standardization for it, all the people that are telling us it's bad for them, we can't really listen to their tests because we don't know whether they're accurate or not. Well, then how do you have regulations for it?
And we're not going to correct it or make regulations until somebody dies.
Until somebody dies.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Wow.
Insanity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty spooky, too.
Yeah. Moving on, fluoride and chlorine in our tap water.
Chlorine is typically added to water to kill off dangerous waterborne pathogens and microorganisms. However, it does not do so without any side effects. Chlorine is naturally occurring, but even small amounts of chlorine can be poisonous. Since the 1800s, the substance has been used to clean water because it is the cheapest method to do so. Drinking a glass of tap water filled with chlorine is no different from drinking a glass of tap water filled with bleach.
And it's been being used since the 1800s. Why are we not moving on and using something that's just as effective as disinfecting the water, but is not poisonous?
Yeah.
Chlorine is poisonous, baby. You know when you swim in a swimming pool and you come up and your eyes are burning?
Oh, yeah.
It's because it has chlorine in the water.
Right.
Your eyes burn because it's burning your membranes.
Even if you accidentally swallow
it burns your throat.
Water, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste, it doesn't feel good.
It's not good for us,
Yeah.
and we're drinking it. And the argument, again, just like the FDA just said on the other red flag, it's not to certain levels, dangerous levels, so it's perfectly fine. Okay. Well, what if you drink 2 gallons of water every day out of the tap? Aren't you poisoning yourself because you're going above normal levels of water? What about bathing? What about cooking?
Well, also, what's the chlorine levels? Do we know?
We have no idea.
Right?
It's regulated by the geniuses down at the FDA.
I mean, you and I, we were raised to drink from the hose, you know. So.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Now, but what struck me, baby, is the reason it's still used is because it's the cheapest way to do so. But it's been being used since the 1800s. What happened to progressivism?
Yeah.
What happened to moving on? Let's not look backwards. Let's look forward. What happened to that mindset?
Where's the scientists that want to make it
Where-
purify water?
Yeah, where's all the young, protesters out there with their little signs and their
Yeah,
masks,
ain't that the truth?
Antifa. Why aren't they protesting this? The 1800s?
Yeah.
Why aren't they trying to make change for this?
Crazy. I would have never thought that they were using it all the way back then.
For that long, yeah. Fluoride is no better because I saw something way back when that fluoride was a byproduct of industrial waste or something like that. But they found that, hey, it's good for teeth. It reinforces your teeth. We still use fluorides in dentistry today so that it wouldn't pollute the environment, I guess, way back when they decided, well, we'll just mix a little bit into the drinking water, right? Help people's teeth, and we get rid of our waste.
Yeah.
Win-win. And it's cheap. And not everybody does it. It's only in certain municipalities, so it's based on the county or the city or whatever.
Right.
That whether they add fluoride or not. So it's not all water across the country. That's first and foremost. But the side effects of fluoride consumption include risk of colon cancer, increased risk of asthma attacks, especially in children, tissue and cell damage, and heart problems. Fluoride is added to tap water because numerous research studies have shown that it decreases the amount of tooth decay in the surrounding population. However, While it does reduce the chance of tooth decay, it can also increase the chance of other major health issues occurring. So basically, yeah, we're fixing their teeth, but everybody's getting sick because they're adding fluoride to the water. Not in every case, but there has been cases of it in the past. But they're still adding it to the water.
Yeah.
Go figure. The most notable side effect of fluoride consumption include dental fluorosis, which are like small white streaks found on the tooth enamel, a bone disease, skeletal fluorosis, that can result in serious pain or joint damage, thyroid problems, neurological damage if exposed before birth, acne, high blood pressure, and reproductive issues.
Wow.
I mean, the list is just...
Wow.
So what are we doing? Again, why are we still using fluoride when our technology is so advanced, baby? There's got to be something else we can add to the water if they're so worried about people's teeth. But they're not worried about people's teeth, baby. They're worried about getting rid of a byproduct.
That's
a
very
waste.
Interesting because the side effects, thyroid problems, that's very, very, I wouldn't say popular, but a lot of people, you hear about a lot of people with thyroid.
With thyroid problems.
Acne.
Yeah.
The kids, you know what I mean? If we're having them brush their teeth and there's fluoride and, you know.
Oh, they're drinking out of the
teenagers-
hose.
Yeah, or yes. Wow, that's crazy.
Drinking fountains when they're, you
Oh,
know, at
yeah,
school,
school.
PE, and where they're playing
Yeah.
sports, they're out there with the drinking fountains and
Yeah,
they're
wow.
drinking their Gatorades. And
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So let's move on to the next red flag. We're going to talk about odd fruits and vegetables. We have a video on this. Now, before we watch the video, though, baby, I want to talk about our own encounter with this.
Yes.
The tomato.
Yes, the tomato
Yes.
or mater.
Or whatever it was. But we had an encounter with a wayward tomato. I used it in a sandwich. The cut tomato was there because I sliced it pretty thick slices, and I had about 3/4 of the tomato sitting on the counter. I had the house dark because you were sleeping. I was watching TV, and then I came upstairs, turned the lights off, and left the tomato on the counter. Now, the first thing I noticed, baby, is it didn't taste like a tomato. It didn't taste like anything. And I'm like, what's going on with this tomato?
Yeah.
This is right after we saw videos on people finding these weird fruits and vegetables, though, so I'm like freaking out. Well, anyway, we get up the next morning, and what happens?
The tomato looks fresh.
We went down, yeah.
Yeah, it was on the counter and it looked fresh.
Overnight.
Yes.
And it looked like I just cut it.
Yeah.
No dry. Normally it would prune up,
Yeah, prune
get
up,
all dry. You
dried
have
up.
to cut off the end of it because it's
Yeah.
all dried up and nasty.
Yeah.
And then you can use the tomato underneath if you leave it out overnight by accident.
Yeah.
Not the case. It looked like I just sliced it. And then I was poking at it, remember? And I'm like,
Yeah.
look, it's firm. It's
Yeah.
like kind of rubbery.
But not juicy at all.
No. And so we threw it away because I thought, well, maybe it's one of these freak
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables we're going to talk about. So let's watch
And you bought those 3 tomatoes and the 2 were so delicious,
yeah,
remember?
perfect, succulent
Perfect.
tomatoes. But
Yeah.
then that one was like
Yeah.
a freak.
Yeah.
So let's watch the video.
Freak.
And of course, for our listeners, there's a dude with a knife and he's boiling vegetables in a pot, and there's an onion with like a see-through membrane on it, a
Yeah,
clear membrane.
It's a white onion.
And then the next shot, here's a young woman. She's bending a banana like it's made of rubber, and she's having trouble tearing it. Well, people accused her of using a fake banana to do this because the video went viral. So somebody else shows a banana right off the countertop, perfectly yellow, small brown dots, ripe banana, should be a perfect banana. They peel it right in front of the camera, and the same thing, it's rubbery. The woman that's doing it is having trouble tearing it apart, like it's made of some kind of dough or something. And you can clearly see it's a banana, baby. Yeah. Next shot, we have a watermelon that's like really weird. It's got like this weird rubbery membrane in the center of it. And the lady's like poking at it, going, what is going on with this? She's actually holding it by the membrane, and you can see
So gross.
it's a watermelon. That people aren't faking this stuff,
Yeah.
baby. In fact, you found a video where it was like a blueberry.
Yeah, I was doing my research and I was going down the rabbit hole, and this lady, she's a mom, and she gave some snacks to her baby, and she gave him blueberries. Well, one of the blueberries just felt really odd in her hands, and so she thought, I'm just gonna throw that one away, and she threw it down her garbage disposal. Well, later on, when she was like cleaning up the kitchen and she turned on the garbage disposal, it sounded like something was in the garbage disposal, like accidentally when you put a spoon down there.
Something solid.
Yeah, something solid. So she went and turned off the garbage disposal, went in there, and it was blueberry, and it was plastic. And it's so funny because I told you about this story, and then when I was doing more research earlier tonight before the show so I could get prepared, Jack Osborne, Ozzy's son, was telling his parents about the video that his wife put it on her Instagram, or put the video on her Instagram or on her TikTok, and it was funny because
About the blueberry?
About the blueberry. They were
Wow.
talking about the same video, and I was like, wow, that's so crazy.
Such a trip. You know, I suspect that it might have something to do with the tare weight. You know what I mean? That maybe they put fake samples in with healthy samples
Yeah.
to meet weight.
Right. I think you might be onto something because I've also seen a video where they're the walnuts and there's cement in the walnuts.
Yeah, see, that's for the weights.
Yeah.
But maybe they're doing it so that an inspector, if you just peeled the banana real quick and looked at it, would look like a banana. You know, you're not gonna. How often are you gonna actually try to bend a banana? Why don't you bend bananas? Because they tear, they break apart, right?
That's still bad business.
Oh, it's horrible business. But that might be an explanation.
Not a very good one.
Yes, that's true. Now, here's my issue with these. If you're still out there and you're like shaking your head, no, those videos are hoaxes. There's no plastic in our produce. If nanoplastics can get into our bottled water, why couldn't they get into the irrigation water? Why couldn't they get into the soil? Why couldn't plants absorb them? And when they produce fruit or whatever, vegetables, the plastics are in the vegetables and the fruit.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, we're talking about microscopic plastic here.
Yeah.
What if the plant, collects it
Yeah.
a certain way to get rid of it?
Yeah, like filters it.
Yeah,
Filters
and pushes it in one banana out of the bunch, and that's why the banana's freaky.
Oh, wow.
Or in our case, the tomato.
Yeah.
What if that tomato plant was like, oh crap, I gotta get this plastic out of me, and it's pumping it all into this one tomato, kind of like we do with like a cyst or something. Our body pushes all the waste in there.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Huh.
So
A plant would probably do that.
a plant would probably do that.
Yeah. Yeah. that
Defense
makes sense.
mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. It's just a theory. I'm not saying I have the
Right.
answers, but it's just something to ponder. If it's in the water, why couldn't it get in the soil?
Mm-hmm.
If it can get in the soil, then why can't it get into plants and trees and our nuts, that we harvest, and our corn and our apples and our oranges? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the things that we're growing out of the carrots, everything. And that's why they're getting these wacko vegetables and these wacko fruits.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Maybe.
Moving on, what about dairy products? Same thing. Dairy cows are fed hay, alfalfa, grasses, etc. Well, if it's in the grasses that the dairy cows are eating and the dairy cows are consuming these nanoplastics, couldn't it get in their milk?
Yeah.
In fact, if we scroll back up to the top, one of the foods that the FDA recognized as containing nanoplastics and microplastics was milk.
That's interesting.
Well, how are
So basically what you're saying is contamination.
it's contamination in the soil. Something needs to be done about this. Something needs to be done about it quick, because apparently it's becoming an issue.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sitting there saying that, the sky is falling. We need to run out there and start protesting. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we want to make people aware so that if this does become an issue, people were talking about it. You can say, oh, yeah, I heard about that, and be armed, be knowledgeable of what's going on and what the possibilities are. That's all we're doing. Remember, just food for thought. We're not trying to persuade anybody. If you're still like, nah, plastics in fruit, you guys are fruity. Well, there you go. Right?
Yeah.
That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Moving on. Soy milk, almond milk, milk, dairy alternatives might not be as healthy as everybody thinks. Well, I drink soy milk because I care about my health. Yeah? Well, what are soybeans made out of? Where do soybeans come from? Couldn't there be screwy soybeans that they're getting the milk from the soy? Mm-hmm. Couldn't there be nanoplastics in the soy milk as well?
Yeah.
So you think you're being healthy, you're really not.
Yeah.
You still might be ingesting this crap. You still might be making yourself sick, even though you're going for a healthy, quote-unquote, alternative.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, baby. It really is. Now, the rubbery watermelon that we were watching, baby, this person, I'll say, came out on TikTok and explained it away as being over-ripened watermelon. Well, if you watch the video, that's not an overripe watermelon. We know what over-ripened watermelon looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a little rubbery.
Yeah.
It's kind of tasteless.
Yeah.
It loses its sweetness. You know what I mean? It's kind of mealy a little bit, you know, when it's over-ripened.
Milly, definitely milly.
You can't stretch it like a balloon. That explanation, and that just goes to show you these are the debunkers coming out of the woodwork. They're not just debunkers are not the only ones paid, baby. There are also people that come out and shoot out these false explanations for things, you know, like Snopes and all these quote-unquote truth-finding websites that have been proven time and time again to be complete bunk.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that just bury the story so that the overall population doesn't know what's going on. And you have these people in social media, you have these people in, you know, TikTok, YouTube, they'll just come right out and say stuff. They'll post things, it's almost like an algorithm, like an automatically generated response. And they'll just put a response that's like a troll response. Oh, no, there's nothing to see here, folks, move on. And then that's it. And you give them an explanation or you argue what they're saying and they don't answer. Well, because they're not a real person.
Yeah, they're AI.
They're AI, or there's somebody out there that just does that because that's their job.
Yeah.
They're trying to stifle, they're trying to oppress information getting out on stuff they don't want people to find out about.
Right.
Absolutely convinced of it. Do we need tinfoil hats? Maybe. I don't care. I just keep running into evidence of that. There's a collusion of people that are actively trying to hide certain information, including the mainstream media, in my opinion, that are constantly trying to hide facts from the American public, from the overall public, I would say, even not just in America, because everybody has fake news all over the world, baby.
Correct.
And academia isn't limited to just America. Academia is, again, all over the world.
Yeah,
there's colleges all over the world. Mm-hmm. So, moving on. Well, needless to say, the person that came out with that idiotic explanation that it's just an overripe watermelon just got hammered.
I bet.
You should see the comments, baby.
Bet.
They were just hammering this person.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that was just one. But they hammered all of them because they're like, what are you talking? What are you, a buffoon? Mm-hmm. But that's it. It's just debunking 101. Just, you know, no proof necessary. Lead by proclamation.
Right.
So the next red flag.
The next red flag is if you grab a loaf of bread and you poke it, it's supposed to stay poked. It doesn't go back to its original shape.
Like a sponge.
Yeah, like a sponge.
Yeah.
Bread that's why you always don't, when you go grocery shopping, you want your bread on top. You don't want anybody to crush your bread. Trust me, everybody knows at the grocery store that I go to, don't crush my bread.
Yes. And the reason you don't want your bread crushed is because it stays crushed.
Exactly.
And it's a real pain in the butt trying to make a sandwich with crushed bread.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how real bread behaves.
Yes.
We have a video, baby, and I'm sure people will be very interested in this, where this guy is going around a supermarket and he's poking loaves of bread, showing how they just pop right back up like Nerf footballs. It's insane. There was another video that I didn't post in here, and this lady actually took, well, right there, he's actually poking real bread, and as you can see, it stays crushed.
Yeah.
That's what real bread's supposed to do. So, just a, public announcement from Tammy and I, your friends here at Paranormal Fable or Fact, if you go to your supermarket and you've been buying bread, and you poke it, and it pops right back up like a sponge, chances are it's not real bread.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're making it out of? Maybe it is made out of flour, but it has so many additives and so many preservatives that it's no longer like real bread. I would suggest not consuming that bread anymore. Maybe they'll change the standard if people stop buying it. I mean, it can't be healthy for you, baby, if it's like a Nerf football, you know what I mean?
And how's that in our digestive system? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How is that dealing with our digestive system?
You think about our medical health all throughout Western culture, and you see all of these issues of illnesses and people getting these weird immunodeficiency diseases and these weird, all these problems with their digestive tracts, diabetes, thyroid problems. You just mentioned that, cancers,
and the allergic reaction to allergic to gluten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In bread.
Yeah, in bread. Yeah.
So, and gluten, people that go gluten-free, it's because they're having all kinds of health issues. Well, why are we still using gluten?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or with our technology, baby, why haven't we found a way to still use flour but somehow take the gluten out? There has to be a way to do it.
Maybe.
But maybe because it's too expensive or whatever, they don't bother. They're just making people sick. That's another one right there.
They want people sick.
There was another video that I was going to post, and I didn't bother because I thought maybe I had too many videos, but this lady takes like 7 different loaves of bread and puts them on her back patio. She leaves them out there for like 4 months.
4 months?
4 months. Opens them up, bread's perfectly fine.
Oh, no.
Exposed to the sun, exposed to the elements, bread's perfectly fine after 4 months. No mold, no dryness.
That can't be food then.
Well, it goes along with the fake bread story.
That's scary.
Because she was like, what's going on? What is this? And these are brand name breads, baby. These are the top brands of bread that people are buying on a regular basis. And you're eating this crap that can't be food.
That's scary.
Food goes bad.
Yeah.
If you're adding so many preservatives to keep it fresh that it basically lasts forever, it can't be good for you. So moving on. We already talked about the next red flag, and that's the food dyes that they just outlawed because they were found to be carcinogenic.
Yes.
Yet we used them for decades. What is going on?
We used them for decades to make the food appetizing by pretty colors.
Pretty color, yeah.
Yeah,
because it's that red dye, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the red dye.
The next red flag, high fructose corn syrup. We've already talked about that. Yeah. It's a common sweetener found in many processed foods and sugary beverages and has been associated with obesity, insulin resistance, and other metabolic disorders. In other words, it messes up your metabolism. It makes you gain weight. It makes you fat. So here's the government coming out with these programs. Yeah, we're going to get America thin. We're going to have you go out there and exercise. Remember that crap?
Yeah.
But you're the ones making people fat.
Yeah, because the FDA is not monitoring all this.
It's enough to make you want to pull your own hair out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Moving on, the next red flag. Well, we're not done. There's all kinds of crap that's in our food, baby. Butylated hydroxynosol. Wait.
Say what?
Butylated hydroxyanisole, or BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene, or BHT. These synthetic antioxidants are used to prevent fats and oil from becoming rancid in foods like cereal, chewing gum, and snack foods. BHA and BHT are known endocrine disruptors, so it messes up your endocrine system, and have been linked to cancer. Some countries have banned the use altogether, and others have severely restricted their use, but they remain common in processed foods
in America.
Here in the U.S. Hello.
Wow. I always wonder about that, like how stuff is banned somewhere else, and then yet America's still
We're still eating it, yeah. And they wonder why we're so fat.
Yeah, scary.
And sick.
Yeah, and sick, yeah.
Well, when you hate the country, that's a good way to take it down, you know what I'm saying? Emulsifiers and thickeners. Now, I didn't know what an emulsifier was. What an emulsifier is it basically makes two agents that don't mix well. For example, like oil and water. If you add an emulsifier to it, the oil and water they blend right in together very easily, and it makes processing the food a lot easier when you have these emulsifiers because, everything blends quicker.
Yeah.
And you could, create it quicker.
Yeah.
They also add thickeners to certain foods, and they're found in products like dairy alternatives. We were just talking about dairy alternatives, soy milk, almond milk, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yogurt, stuff like this, sugar-free. People think, 0 calories, I'm being healthy, and they're being poisoned.
Yeah.
These can include polysorbate 80, carboxymethylene cellulose, carrageenan, xanthan gum, guar gum, locust bean gum, and gellan gum. Some of these have been linked to digestive issues or inflammation. So, this irritable bowel syndrome, that some people are suffering from, diarrhea, bloating, gas, all this stuff that it's because of the crap they're putting in the food.
Yeah, that they're putting in their system.
Or at least it's not helping those problems. You know what I'm saying? It's exacerbating them.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This is the next red flag. Potassium bromate. This is used as a flour additive in some baked goods. It is considered a potential human carcinogen and is banned in many other countries, but not in the good old US of A. America. Sodium nitrite, and sodium nitrate. Preservatives common found in processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, and deli meats. They're used to prevent bacterial growth and enhance the color. Consumption of these additives has been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers, particularly colorectal cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, yummy.
Yeah, that's not good.
And here's the big one, baby, because we had our own run-in with this. Artificial sweeteners. There's a bunch of them, but at the top of the list, aspartame and saccharin. But there's a bunch of them. Sucralose, acesulfame K, advantame, neotame. These are often used in quote-unquote diet or quote-unquote sugar-free products. Research suggests potential links to metabolic disturbances, such as changes in the gut microbiota, and potentially can increase the risk of stroke, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. The World Health Organization, the Wizards of Smart, those are the real geniuses right there, but at least they're trying to do something about this.
Yeah.
So maybe there is actually a couple of brain cells amongst those idiots that represent the World Health Organization. Yeah. They recommend against using non-sugar sweeteners, or NSS, because you have to have the abbreviations, baby, to make it sound important. Yeah. Don't use NSSs.
Yeah.
For weight control, and advises reducing sugar intake by opting for unsweetened products and naturally occurring sugars such as what is found in fruit. Whole Foods Market, which is a big chain, bans aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin from all of its products. Why? Because they're bad for you. Now, we had our own run-in with aspartame, baby. Do you remember?
Yes.
When I met you, you were a junkie.
On diet soda.
On diet... Yeah, we don't have to say the name.
Yeah.
On diet sodas.
Yeah.
So I started drinking diet sodas, even though I never drank diet sodas.
Yeah.
But you insisted, no, it tastes good. Yeah. Drink it. Here, take a bite of the apple, And I did.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And we were drinking them.
Yeah.
Like water.
Yeah.
What are we, 3, 4, 5 cans a day at least?
Well, it was pretty bad.
We were drinking them all the time because we were still in our 30s. We were still pretty young.
Yeah.
So, you don't think of your health when you're in your 30s. You're at the top of your game, So then we see this show I think it was on Coast to Coast. I listened to it when I was working at night, and I'm listening to, I believe it was George Norrie at the time. And he's talking about aspartame being horrible for you. They said it was linked to like a rat poison, or an insecticide, but I looked that up. There's no substantial evidence of that. But it doesn't matter because it's like a pesticide or a poison. Yeah. Because it's horrible for you. So it says that it's linked to all these things, right? Yeah. All these health problems and stuff. Yeah. And it actually these Diet Coke, if you're one of these people that drinks a lot of diet soda, and I'm not talking about like energy drinks and stuff like that, because a lot of those have natural sugars in them.
Yeah.
I'm talking about diet soda in particular, diet, Gatorades and stuff, those kind of things, you know.
The little powder stuff that goes in your
The powdered stuff, the flavored waters, stuff like this.
Yeah.
These are some of those contain aspartame. So I came home and I told you, let's stop drinking diet soda. So we started drinking regular soda.
Yeah.
And what happened?
I slept better.
We started sleeping better.
My energy level was better.
I was having all kinds of issues with my joints. I was having joint pain, remember? And I thought I was getting arthritis.
Yeah.
As soon as we cut the aspartame out of our diet,
it was gone.
that went away.
Yeah.
That went away. Remember, you were having problems with your, I think it was your hip or something?
Yeah.
Your joint.
Yeah, my joint, yeah.
As soon as we stopped drinking the aspartame, went away.
Yep.
Amazing. So, now we have to get back to the geniuses at the FDA. These are the people that are protected. They're the front line
Yes.
of helping American citizens. The
Yes.
FDA, boy.
Yes, they are.
Their explanation for why they would allow these artificial sweeteners to be consumed by humans, to be consumed by U.S. citizens, is because they say that there's a certain level that you can consume without it being a health risk. So as long as you don't exceed that amount, perfectly fine. And if you think about it, baby, every over-the-counter drug is like that.
Yeah.
That's why they say, take this pill once every 12 hours. Do not exceed 3 pills in a 24-hour period.
It's even to the point where you don't want to drink a lot of water.
Right.
Anything
excessive is bad for you. So that's what the FDA says. Well, as long as you don't eat too much aspartame, you're perfectly fine. Now, I have some photos here, baby,
Okay.
that we're going to take a look at.
Okay.
This is a can of Diet Coke. If you look at the ingredients, aspartame is right there. Now, do you see a measurement
No.
on there? It just says aspartame.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next photo, shall we? This is some kind of, I don't know what this is. It's some kind of dairy, maybe like cottage cheese or something, but it's something sugar-free. It contains aspartame. Again, what do you see there? It just says aspartame.
Yeah, it just says it. No measurement.
It just has it listed as an ingredient, but there's no way to know how much is in there. We're not done. This is an actual off-a-box of artificial sweetener. Aspartame behind dextrose with maltodextrin. Aspartame is one of 3 ingredients in this box.
Yeah.
Do you see how much aspartame is in each packet?
No.
So, how do you know that you're not exceeding
The limit.
the safety limit that the geniuses down at the FDA have set forth for you?
Right.
Don't eat this amount. If you go past this amount, then it's bad for you.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know?
You don't.
We're not done, baby, with these artificial sweeteners. These are products that you didn't know contain aspartame. Cough drops, sugar-free gums, Mentos gums, cold and flu syrup, some chocolates, some jellies, some hot chocolates, some fruit juices, yogurts, sugar-free yogurts, some protein drinks that are supposed to be low in, calories.
Yeah.
Some mouthwashes contain aspartame, and some vitamins. So you're taking your vitamins, to be healthy,
Wow.
and you're poisoning yourself with aspartame.
That's crazy.
It's insane. So now, baby, let's just say some freak alignment of the world, of the planets happens, and you happen to consume every one of these products
Yeah.
on a daily basis for months at a time.
Yeah.
How are the geniuses, the wizards of smart at the FDA, going to possibly keep track of how much aspartame you're getting on a daily basis, your daily limit?
Yeah, exactly.
How are they going to know? Plus, if you pile on a couple of diet sodas in that mix,
Yeah.
where you at?
Exactly.
How can you eat? So even if you wanted to keep track of how much of these toxins you're bringing into your body, there's no way to do it because there's no measurements.
Yep.
So do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
The FDA tells you don't go past this amount. Because if you don't, you're perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about. Just don't go past this limit. But you have no way of knowing whether you go past the limit or not because nothing is measured. Can you get any more stupid than that?
No.
I don't think you can.
And I have a story of a woman who was training to be in a bodybuilding competition. Mm-hmm. And she was eating everything right, going to a trainer, running. So her trainer put her on a strict diet, but she could have like a little bit of sweets here and there, right? So she was chewing gum with aspartame in it, and she was drinking those powdered things to put in her water that had contained aspartame. So it's coming close to the competition, and she's really, cutting out a lot of foods because she's getting closer to the competition. And when bodybuilders get closer to the competition, they're real strict on their diets. So she's really strict, really strict. She goes for a run with some of her friends. She feels like she's not feeling good. She feels like she's drunk. She's like got
Really?
like a toxology thing,
Wow.
So she decides, she tells her husband she's not feeling good, but she's got to go meet her trainer. She goes into her trainer. Her trainer's real strict. Her trainer goes, "Hey, what did you do? Did you eat like pizza last night? What did you do? You look bloated. You look terrible. You look sick." And she goes, "I don't know. I don't know what I did." So the trainer sees her put one of those powder things in her water, and she goes, "What is that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's just a powder thing." And she goes, "Let me see that." And she goes, "This has aspartame in it." She goes, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "This has aspartame in it. That's why you're like that." So the trainer said, "You need to get rid of anything that has aspartame." So
Crazy.
So, mind you, she gets rid of that. She drinks water. She didn't have to go to the doctor because the next day she felt better. My paranormal listeners, 4 days later, she lost 9 pounds. It was all the bloating and the water because her body was fighting the poisoning of the aspartame, and it was keeping those liquids inside her to keep her alive.
Probably inflammation and everything else.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't know what your body. This woman was fit.
So we had our own
Yes.
issues with it, and then now somebody personally that had issues with it as well later.
Yeah.
Because we haven't consumed aspartame products in
years.
decades.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
when we were first married. We were still dating when this happened.
Yeah.
So this is the last red flag, baby, and then we're going to get into conclusions because there is no inarguable truth.
Okay.
For this show. I should have said that at the beginning.
Oh well.
Oh well. The next red flag is trans fats. Now, the thing is, baby, again, the wizards are smart. We moved to trans fats on purpose. You know that, right?
No.
Because saturated fats was what was on the bullseye block. It was on the chopping block. Saturated fats, which was found in lard, which back when was all people cooked with, that and grease, bacon grease and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Duck grease, stuff like this.
Definitely.
That's what people cooked with. The Wizards of Smart told us saturated fats are contained in lard and in all these other products you're using. You need to stop it. It's horrible for you. It's killing you. You need to find a healthier alternative. So we got shortening. Crisco, which was the #1 brand of shortening.
Yes.
So then people are using it for decades, baby. Oh, the healthy alternative to that nasty lard, that nasty saturated fats. Yeah, we're getting these healthy trans fats. Well, now, the same geniuses that told us saturated fats were horrible start using trans fats, which was found in Crisco, by the way. No longer. Crisco is now zero trans fats, but it did so much to its image, nobody uses it anymore.
Right.
It's very few people. It was basically a household name back in the day, baby, Crisco.
Yes.
But they told us switch to trans fats, and now they know trans fats are way worse for you than saturated fats are. So now, again, the geniuses, our Wizards of Smart, the P-brains over at the World Health Organization, are banning trans fats from all products. Can't have them, killing too many people.
Wow.
But before that, for decades, again, baby, we were consuming them because they told us it was good.
Right.
So that's basically it.
But they've been telling us that for a long time. They said, "Oh, can't eat eggs. Eggs are terrible. Oh, wait, eggs are good for you."
That was the other genius one, yeah.
You
remember
they would
that?
tell us something was bad for us, so we'd stop eating it. And we'd start eating it.
Now we know eggs are a superfood.
Yeah.
It's one of the healthiest things you can eat. But they, for years told us, oh, no, don't eat egg. Remember all the
Yeah.
egg whites and
Yeah,
the
the
egg alternatives and all this?
egg
Which
alternatives,
was,
yeah.
again, processed food with a bunch of crap in them.
Yeah.
People are eating this crap.
Yeah, the processed food.
Thinking, well, I'm not eating the horrible eggs with all that cholesterol and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm eating this added, these fake eggs, and it was killing them.
Yeah.
So now we know, and this is why I made the argument for the show, baby. Why people put so much weight on what science tells us.
Yes.
These Poindexters, these professors, these scientists, these doctors, they're not infallible.
Yeah.
They make mistakes.
Yeah.
One of the mistakes, if you remember, baby, margarine was better than butter.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Don't use butter, use margarine, because butter was made out of animal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it had the saturated fat.
Yeah.
We cannot have that. You have to use margarine. Margarine had trans fat. So now you got to look high and low to find margarine in the store.
Yeah.
Especially in any health store, you're not going to find it because of the trans fat. Or it's going to have low or no trans fats in it.
Yeah.
And now mostly what you see is butter. You can find butter all over the place. Why? Because it's way healthier than margarine.
Yeah.
Just like lard is way healthier than shortening. Well, now shortening is probably better because it doesn't have trans fats
Yeah.
or saturated fats.
Right. But still.
But for decades, baby, they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I make the argument with so much gusto, I'll say, of how you can't just listen. Just because someone has a PhD behind their name doesn't make them an expert, and it doesn't make them smart. Period.
Yep.
They make mistakes. They're not infallible. That's why I don't understand why so many people hang on every word academia puts out. It just boggles the mind.
Yep.
But that about does it, baby.
That does do it.
So in conclusion, baby, what do you think about all this?
I think it's very scary. I think people should read labels and pay attention to what they're eating. I mean, listen, me and Victor don't always eat that healthiest. One of our vices is Jack in the Box tacos. We know darn well
Who
that
knows
we don't know what's in those.
what that meat
But
is?
they're so darn good sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, it's one of our vices every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah.
But there's a when I did research on this show, I went down the rabbit hole and I was watching a whole bunch of videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's this woman, she calls herself the biblical nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Oh, there you go. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
and she says that, well, she kind of gives her whole thing is like eat God-made food, which makes sense because
Real food.
yeah, real food.
It's what people say, real
Yeah,
food.
real
Yeah.
food. So, it was made for us.
But that's what's scary, baby. That's why I want to do this show, because people are eating quote-unquote real food,
Yes,
and the banana's like rubber.
I know.
What's
It's
up with
scary.
that?
Yeah, it's scary.
You're eating real food, milk.
Yes.
Hey, look, I'm drinking milk. It's good for my bones.
Yeah.
And it's got plastic in it.
We just got to be aware of our food. We just do.
My conclusion is, A, if the jackasses, and I don't say that lightly, the jackasses, whoever is running the FDA, number one, needs to get fired immediately. Number two, probably should be thrown in prison, in my opinion. Because what they are allowing, who knows, baby, if you added up how many people are currently fighting some kind of serious illness or have actually passed on from all this crap that's been allowed in our food for decades now, whoever has been in charge
Yeah.
that whole time, that time span, if they haven't passed away yet,
Yeah.
they should be in prison, in my opinion. Because negligent homicide is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And how many years can you go away for that?
Tons.
Well, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
take away
Depending
their
on how many people.
strip
and
them of all that nice retirement money and all that, strip and throw them in jail. Even if it's just for a couple years. Just throw them in jail. Because they've allowed this to happen. And when you have stupidity,
Right.
like giving you a daily limit and saying this, as long as you don't go past this amount, you're safe, but then there's no way to measure what that daily limit is,
Yeah.
baby, that's like mentally ill.
Right.
I mean, you were mentally ill to put that out And like I told you, baby, this information was right off the FDA's website. This isn't me trying to get listeners. This isn't me being dramatic and trying to stir up people or not. Right off, you can go right off the website and read everything that I read in that paragraph.
Might be gone by the time
by the time we post it, because we might not be the only ones talking about it. But basically, they say it's not an issue until people start dying, and they basically say you're perfectly fine as long as you don't go past the limits that you as a consumer have no way to measure what those limits are, what those daily limits are.
And it's very very scary because it's they're using one of the purest things that we use is water.
Yeah.
We need water.
Yeah. Can't live without water.
Can't live without water. We could go days without food, but we can't go days without water.
You can go weeks without food. You can't go days without water.
Oh, yeah.
You'll die within you can die within hours of not having water, depending on the environment.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe, baby, I'm not going to say all of it, but at least some, and this is why I think people need to be thrown in prison, I think at least some of it is purposeful. Because remember, we have whack jobs out there, and again, I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on, I don't care, because they're found everywhere. They're called globalists. I would say probably the majority of them probably lean more toward the left, but not all of them. Some of them are moderate and some of them are conservative. It's just the belief system that they have. Mm-hmm. And what globalists believe is that we're going to overpopulate the planet, we're going to run out of water, we're going to run out of food, so every policy they support has to do with killing off as many people as possible. Now that sounds extreme.
So what you're saying is that you think that all these products that they're putting in our food and stuff is to eliminate us, to give us disease, to kill us off.
They're trying to kill off as many people as possible. In fact, some of the side effects on some of these additives are reproductive problems.
Oh, yeah, that's an issue too. Yeah.
So, erectile dysfunction, stuff like this, helps stop human procreation.
Yeah.
That's all they want. Because if you're not going to stop reproducing, they're going to make you stop. These are the people that call the standardized family, a mom, dad, and 2 kids. They call that nuclear family because it's bad. You don't want that. They're globalists. They don't want you to have 2 kids. Because if every family has 2 kids, baby, if you eliminate one person and you think about how many children they might have had, and how many children their children might have had, and how many children those children might have had, after like 5 or 6 generations, you're talking about hundreds of people.
Yes, you are. That
you're eliminating by stopping one person from living. I know that sounds extreme.
Wow.
I know there's going to be people that disagree with me, but that's what I think it is. That's what it boils down to. Because you can't get this stupid without it being purposeful, baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're reading their rules. This is their guidelines.
Yeah. Their
safety standards. And they're asinine at best. Now, if that isn't evidence of possibly being purposeful, I don't know what is. And that's my conclusion.
Okay.
So that does it, babe.
That does it. That's it.
Show's over.
That's it. Show's over. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Check out our Facebook page. Like it. And as always, thank you for listening. Good night.
Good night, everybody.